I Speak to the World TV reality show.
I speak to the world, speak to the world, I speak to the world. I speak to the world, speak to the world, I speak to the world.
I Speak to the World TV reality show. Speakers are those who chart a new course for their generation. Simply by speaking, you will define your place in the world. This is I Speak to the World TV reality show, and I am B.D. Phillips, your host. I Speak to the World TV reality show. The aim is to develop these young personalities through public speaking and at large engaging them on how they can champion a cause or a new idea in our society. We're going for a short break now, and when we return, we'll be hearing what the contestants have for us for today. I Speak to the World TV reality show. Thank you for staying with us on I Speak to the World TV reality show. The contestant first task was to talk about my dream for the world, their dream for the world. When they become the first president, they'll have the first female president of our beloved country, Nigeria.
Good day, my fellow citizens. I stand here today, humbled by God before us, grateful for the trust you have bestowed, mindful of the sacrifice borne by our ancestors. I thank President Jonathan for his service to our nation, as well as the generosity and cooperation he has shown throughout this transition. Since Nigerians have now taken the presidential oath, the world have bespoken new rising tides of prosperity and still water of peace. Yet, every so often, Nigerians have carried. Yet, every so often, the oath is taken amid gathering of cloud and raging storms. At this moment, Nigerians are carrying on not simply because of the skill or vision of those in high office, but because of we the people remain faithful to the ideas of our forebears and true to our founding document. So it has been, so it must be with this generation of Nigeria. Thank you and God bless Nigeria.
I Speak to the World TV reality show.
Good day, my fellow citizens. I stand here today, humbled by the task before us, grateful for the trust you have bestowed, mindful for the sacrifice borne by our ancestors. I thank President Jonathan for his service to his nation, as well as the generosity he has shown throughout his transmission. For 6 Nigerians have now taken presidential oaths. Yet the word has been spoken during rising tides of prosperity and still water of peace. At this moment, Nigeria have unearthed simply because of the vision of those people in high office. But we the people have remained faithful of the ideals of our forebears and the founding of documents. So it has been, so it must be the generations of Nigeria. That we are in the midst of crisis now well understood. Our nation is at war against the far-reaching network of violence and hatred. Our economic is badly weakened against consequences of greed and irresponsibilities. Every day show further evidence that we are using strength and adversaries to threaten our planet. The indicators of Christ and subjects of data and statistics. Thank you. God bless Nigeria.
I Speak to the World TV reality show.
Good day, my fellow citizen. I stand here today, humbled by the task before us, grateful of the trust you have betrayed, mindful of the sacrifice borne by our ancestors. I thank President Jonathan for his service to our nation, as well as the generosity and cooperation he has shown throughout this transition. The word that we spoken during rising tide of prosperity. The word that we spoken during rising tide of prosperity, and the still water of spit. Yet every sorrowful is taken at me, gathering clad and ragging stuff. At this movement, Nigeria has carried out not simply because of the skills or vision of those in high office, but because we, the people, have remained faithful of our ideas and forebearers. So it has been, so it must be with the generation of Nigeria. But we're in the midst of crisis, against the flourishing network and violence and hatred. Our economy is badly weakened, the consequences of greed and irresponsibility on the part of some. Our collective failure to make hard choices and prepare the nation for a new age. Whom shall be lost? Jobs shed, business shuttered, healthcare costly, our school failed too many.
I Speak to the World TV reality.
Good day, my fellow citizens. I stand here today humbled by the text before us, grateful for the trust you have bestowed, mindful of the sacrifices borne by our ancestors. I thank President Jonathan for the service to our nation, as well as the generosity and cooperation he has shown throughout this transition. For the 4 Nigerians have not taken the presidential oath, the words have been spoken during rising time of prosperity and still wasn't replaced yet. Every single after the oath has been taken and this gathering cloud of raging storms. At this moment, Nigeria is not carried them, not simply because of the skill of vision of those in IFPs, but because we the people have remained faithful to the ideas of our forebearers and truths are found and documented. So it has been, so it must be with the generation of Nigeria, that we are in the midst of crisis and have well understood. Our nation is at war against a far-reaching network of violence and hatred. Our economy is badly weakened, a consequence of greed and irresponsibility of the part of some, but also our collective failure to make our choices and prepare the nation for a new age. Home share been lost, jobs shared, business shuttered. Our healthcare is still costly, our schools close to many, and each day brings further evidence at the way we use energy threaten their adversaries and threaten our planet. These are the indicators of crisis subject to data and statistics. Less measurable but no less profound. It is happening across our land. A nagging further America decline is inevitable, and the next generation must know why it's sight. Today, I say to you, the challenges we face are real. They are serious and they are many. They cannot be easily met in a short span of time. But notice, Nigeria to be met. On this day, we gather because we have chosen hope over fear, unity of purpose over conflict and discard. On this day, we came to proclaim an end to petty gravities and false promises. The recrimination and wonder dogmas have for far too long have strangled our politics. We remain a young nation, but in the words of the Holy Book, the time has come to put away childish things. The time has back up again to choose our timeless spirit, to carry for our valued gift. This is the honored item to pass down from father and mother to child. This is God's giving truth that we are all equal, all free, all should have the chance to seek the full measure of happiness. We are confirming and rebuilding the greatness of our nation, but we understood that greatness is never a given. It must be earned. Our history has never been one of the shortcuts for certain fullness. It has not been the path of the weak-hearted. For those who want to play instead of work, or to seek the comfort of riches and popularity. Instead, we should honor the risk takers, ones who do the makers of things. Some of them were celebrated, but more often men and women. They were the ones that carried us up the long, rough path of our freedom. That for good life. For us, they took their few materials and belongings and traveled across the ocean in search of a new life. For us, we were beaten by the slave master's stick and worked hard at. For us, we were beaten by the slave master's stick and worked hard at. For us, they fought and died in places like Concord, Normandy, Gettysburg, and Kesan. Time and again, these men and women struggled and sacrificed and worked till the ends were turned open. They saw Nigeria as bigger than the total of our individual dreams added up together, better than all the differences of birth, wealth, or social group. This is the path that we continue to travel today. We made the most successful and powerful nation on earth. Our workers produce no less than when the crisis began. Our minds are no less able to invent. Our goods and services are no less necessary than they were last week, last year, or last month. But our power has not decreased. But our time of standing down and protecting selfish interests and putting up hard decisions, that time started from today. We must be able to pick ourselves up, dust ourselves up, and bring out the creation and bring out the work of remaking Nigeria. For everywhere we look, there is work to be done. The condition of our economy calls for something to be done brave and quick. And we act not only to create new jobs, but to create new environments. We build good roads and bridges, an electric system, and computer lines to feed the traders in our market and connect us to each other. We harness the sun,
the wind, and the soil to fuel our cars and run our factories. We raise technology wonders to raise healthcare qualities and lower its costs. We will transform our schools, colleges, and universities to meet the demand of a new age. Now, there are some who question the scale of ambition, who says that our economy cannot tolerate too many big plans. The memories are too short and they don't know what this country has done. What free men and women don't understand from common purposes is joint necessity to courage. What the ponies don't understand is that the ground has shifted beneath them, that the stale politics argument has cancelled them for so long that they no longer apply our question we asked today. It's not whether the government is too big or small, or whether their family gets a job at a decent wage, the light of the day. No, it's a question before us whether the government is a force for good or ill, its power to generate or expand wealth. But the crisis has reminded us that without a watchful eye, the market can spin out of control.
I Speak to the World TV reality show.
My fellow citizen, I stand with I, humbled by the tears before us, grateful for the trust you have bestowed. Mindful of the sacrifice done by our sister, I thank President Jonathan for his services to the nation, as well as generosity and cooperation he has shown throughout this transition. Since Nigeria has not taken the presidential oath, the world has been on the rising tide of prosperity and still water of peace. Yet it has been often Nigeria amidst gathering cloud and riding storm. Nigeria has simply because of the skills and vision, and where people remain faithful for the truth of the founding documents and true of the founding bearers. So it is in generation of Nigeria is now well understood, and nation is a tool against the far-reaching network of violence and hatred, are consequences of good and irresponsibility of part of some, but also collective failure to make a choice and to prepare the nation for a new age. I'm sure Ben last, job shade, and business shade, and each bring further evidence that where you use energy, strength, adversary, other planets. These are the indicators of crisis data and statistics. Less measurable but not less profound is the sapping nature over fame. Today, I say to you that the challenges you face are real, they are serious and they are many. They cannot be met easily in such span of time, but nowadays, Nigeria, they were met. We come today to put an end to the petty grievance and false promises. Today, I say to you that challenges you face are real, they are serious and they are many. They cannot be met easily in a short span of time, but nowadays, Nigeria, they were met. We are confirming and rebuilding the greatness of our nation, but we all know that greatness is not being earned, it must be given. Our history has not been one of the shortcuts settling for less. It has not been for those who wanted to play instead of work, or to seek for the richness and popularities. Instead, we should honor the risk taker, the doer of all things. Some of them were celebrated, more often they were men and women hidden in their labor.
I Speak to the World TV reality show.
A fellow citizen, I stand here today humbled by the task before us, grateful for the trust you have bestowed, mindful of the sacrifice done by ancestors. I thank President Jonathan for his service to our nation, as well as the generosity and cooperation he has shown throughout the transition. 6 Nigerians has not taken presidential oath. The word has now been spoken during rice ties of property of Stillwater office. At this moment, but because we Nigerians still remain in the ideas of our forebearers and true to the founding documents. So it has been the generation of Nigerians that were in the midst of crisis is now well understood. Our nation is at war against the far-reaching network violence and hatred. Our economy is badly weakened. A collective failure to make our choices and prepare our nation for a new age. Home shade been lost, job shade, business shuttered, our healthcare is too costly, our school fares too many. Each day bring further evidence that the way we use our energy and strength threaten our adversaries. Today, I say to you that the challenges we are facing is real. They are serious and they are many. They will not be easily met in a short span of time. On this day, we gather because we have chosen hope over fear, unity and purpose over conflict and discourse. On this day, we come to proclaim an end over petty grievance and false promises, the recognition of worn-out dogmas that for far too long has struggled our politics. In the word of the Holy Book said, time has come to put away childish things. Time has come to back up against timeless spirit and to choose better life and history and to carry forward and value gift. This passed out ideas from our father, mother, and child. We are confirming and rebuilding the greatness of our nation. We understand that the greatness of our nation has never been given, but it must be earned. It has never been
I Speak to the World TV reality show. I Speak to the World TV reality show.
Good day, my fellow citizens. I stand here today, humbled by the task before us, grateful for the trust it bestowed, and mindful of the sacrifices borne by our ancestors. I thank President Jonathan for his services to our nation, as well as the generosity and cooperation he has shown through this transition. 6 Nigerians have now taken the presidential oath. The word has been spoken during rising tides of prosperity and the still waters of peace. Yet so every often that the oath is taken amidst gathering clouds and raging storms. At this moment, Nigeria has carried on, not simply because of the skills or vision of those in high office, but because we the people have remained faithful to the ideas of our forebears and true to our founding documents. So it has been, so it must be with the generation of Nigeria that the midst of crisis is now well understood. Our nation is at war against the far-reaching network of violence and hatred, a consequence of greed and irresponsibility on the part of some, but also our collective failures to make our choices and prepare the nation for a new age. These are the indicators of crisis, subject to data and statistics, less measurable but no less profound, is the sapping of confidence near our land. And I can say that Nigeria's deadline is inevitable and that the next generation must lower its sight. For us, they fought and died in places like Gettysburg, Normandy, and Gessen. For us, they worked hard till their ends were turned. For us, they were beaten by the slave master state. Thank you and God bless Nigeria.
I Speak to the World TV reality show.
Good day, my fellow citizen. I stand here today, humbled by the task before us, grateful for the trust you have bestowed, mindful of the sacrifices done by our ancestors. I thank President Jonathan for his services to the nation, as well as the generosity and cooperation he has shown throughout the transition. Since Nigerians have not taken the presidential oath, the world has spoken the rising side of prosperity and now the still waters of peace. Yet ever so often the oath is taken amidst gathering cloud and raging storm. At those moments, Nigerians carry on not simply because of the skills or vision of those in high offices, but because we the people have remained faithful to the founding document. Thank you and God bless Nigeria.
I Speak to the World TV reality show.
Good day, my fellow citizens. I stand here today, humble before the task given to us, grateful for the trust bestowed, mindful of the sacrifice borne by our ancestors. I thank President Jonathan for his services to our nation, as well as the generosity and cooperation he has shown throughout this transition. 6 Nigerians, has now taken the presidential oath. The words have been spoken during rising tides of prosperity and the still water of peace. Yet having so often the oath has not taken amidst gathering clouds and raging storm. At this moment, Nigerians are moving on, not because of the skills and vision of those in high office, but because we the people are faithful to the ideas of our forebears and true to our founding documents. So it has been, so it must be with this generation of Nigerians. We are in the midst of crisis is now well understood. Our nation is at war with a far-reaching network of hatred and violence. Our economy is badly weakened, a consequence of greed and irresponsibility on the part of some, but a collective failure to make hard decisions and prepare the nation for a new age. Our own shape being lost, jobs shed, business shuttered, our health care is too cost, school fees so many. Each day brings further evidence that we use our energy and strength, endure adversaries, and threaten the planet. These are the indicators of crisis, subjects of data and statistics, less measurable and no less profound, is a sample of confidence across Ireland. And nagging fear declined by Nigerians is inevitable, and the next generation must lower its sights. Thank you and God bless Nigeria.
I Speak to the World TV reality show. Till I call you away again with another exciting episode of I Speak to the World TV show. Keep speaking to the world.